Hola a todos, este es Todo Su Tiempo, a Spanglish podcast where we talk about anything and everything. My name is Melissa Miranda, también conocida como Melody Guzman, and on today's episode, it was actually basically inspired. I'm not gonna be really talking about the topic that I was given on my Instagram stories, which if you guys don't know, if you go follow me on my Instagram, I post like surveys, little like kind of like where you guys can comment. No me acuerdo cómo se llaman, like little questionnaire things where you guys can give me your opinions, ideas, and also you guys can send me a message giving me feedback about this episode, which a lot of people have already done it, and I'm really happy because this is kind of like my baby. Like this, I'm like slowly trying to see what's good, what's bad, what do I need to do to improve my recordings. I'm not good with any technical stuff, just letting everyone know, pero como van diciéndome, yo voy mejorando. Si les molesta algo, si les molesta, hey Melissa, like you should do this about your microphone, you should do that about your videos. Any feedback is good feedback for me. Do not think de que me lo voy a tomar al pecho. It's the first time I do anything like this. This is the first time I literally have ever tried and do a podcast. So I'm new to this. I know I'm not perfect, but also I got a lot of good feedback on the last episode, and just letting everyone know it was like a last minute episode. So it was not one of my favorite ones because I didn't have nothing planned out. On this one, sí hice mi tarea. Tomé algunas notas y hice unos dibujitos aquí para poder explicarles bien sobre este tema. Like you have been ghosted before, that's the topic, ghosting. If you feel like you've been ghosted or you are the people who are ghosting other people, I would kind of hear it with like friendships the most, not really like relationships, because relationships are more like I broke up with that person and not really like I'm ghosting my boyfriend. Si no saben qué es ghosting, ghosting is basically a form of just cutting any type of communication with someone for no reason. It's just because se te dio la gana, porque maybe you have a good reason behind it, but didn't let that person know. You just basically took them off from your phone, like the number, took them off from like your social media, and that was it. Which, again, social media is basically, it's always, I'm not gonna blame anything on like or everything. I know it's just us making like stupid decisions or us not being able to handle social media, because again, como dijo Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. I don't know if I said it right, pero los que me entendieron, me entendieron. Anyways, si haces mucho en social media, it's basically toxic. But again, it's a way of growing your business, like my podcast, my photography. So it's kind of like either you make it toxic or basically you don't want nothing to do with it. Like, you know, and I actually estaba en un debate whether I should probably delete my personal Instagram account, because I don't find the point of having a personal Instagram account, which is the one Melody Guzman. I want to move all of my photography to Facebook because I feel like those are the people that I want to reach out the most, not the people on Instagram. And I just feel like photography and Instagram has become like a really toxic relationship, if that makes sense. Pero we're gonna talk about that one day. But I'm not right now. I'm still having my little debate thing going on. So once I get everything handled and I make a decision, then that's when I'll make an episode about like social media. Like simplemente todo social media, maybe por una temporada, porque esta temporada, la primera, la estoy hablando de relaciones, amistades. It's so easy just to block someone. It's so easy to remove them from your following, and it's just, you don't own, or you don't even, when you block something or someone, or remove them from your following, you don't have to write any kind of description, any kind of review of why you want to go someone. Como when you make an account and you want to delete it, It's so fucking complicated. Like, I tried deleting my Instagram already, but I forgot my password. And not only that, they give you options of like why you want to remove or delete or deactivate your account. But when it comes to blocking or removing someone from your following, it doesn't give you that option. It doesn't give you the option to send someone a message before blocking them, kind of like a goodbye letter, like, hey, I don't want you in my life no more. Peace out. And I have been ghosted, I feel like, I don't know, and I have ghosted someone before. It is so normalized that if somebody is ghosting you out of nowhere, you're like, oh, I have been ghosted now. Or I guess this is how it feels to be ghosted, and you don't do anything about it. You don't go to their house and be like, hey, why you don't want me in your life no more when we have been friends for so many years? And basically that's what's ghosting. Ghosting is being immature, being selfish, and being kind of like un cobarde, that you don't want to confront your problems. And I can confirm that, because the reason I ghosted one person in particular was because I was being a cobarde. I didn't want to confront the whole situation, so I just decided not to answer them no more. And it was in my little phase where I don't care about anyone's opinions or anyone's emotions, which again, it's something kind of like a self-love thing where you shouldn't be caring about no one's emotions or opinions, because at the end of the day, that's their life, this is your life, and you shouldn't be having no kind of power in no one's emotions like that. But at the same time, I started like a conversation. I started a let's hang out thing, and then out of nowhere, I'm like, peace out. It damages mental health. I'm not saying it did to this person. I'm not saying nothing like that in particular. I'm just saying that I guess if I was in their shoes, I would have probably felt like this. So let me explain. Ya dijimos las razones de why someone has probably ghosted someone else, because of being selfish, immature, and also they just want to avoid any kind of problems or conflicts. There are consequences of ghosting. If you guys didn't know, I didn't know. I thought it was kind of like peace out. It is, life happens, we move on. But in reality, it's mentally unhealthy. It's mentally unhealthy for the person ghosting to just cut off a emotional connection. It gives you kind of like a little trauma or anxiety. It gives me anxiety, that's why I say it. I cannot be answering messages no more, even if it's about work, even if it's just a friend asking me, hey, how's your day? I don't like answering messages no more, or phone calls, because I don't want to confront no one. I don't know why. I guess it's like my karma for blocking people or just cutting them off out of nowhere. Pero it always gives me like this anxiety when I get a message and they're like, hey, can we talk? And I'm like, oh shit, like I don't want to talk to this person. What am I gonna do? And I just literally don't respond to them anymore. It's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna answer to their message. Like it brings your social skills down, that you're not able to have friends no more, that you're not able to have that kind of like support from someone else that is not your family. And hey, I know this girl who doesn't have any friends other than family members, and I don't think that's healthy for her. I think she needs to, I don't know, make a change on herself, or make a change on whatever's not working with her and other people. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I kind of have a feeling, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, fix this. Like, no, she has to find out on her own what she needs to do to actually make those connections. Because again, you shouldn't change for anyone else, but at the same time, nobody's gonna want to be your friend if you're the asshole. Which I have a story for that, or not a story, but I have a little post that I found on Reddit that I want to read here in a minute. But a thing that you get, not necessarily, but you give to someone when you ghost them, is stalking behavior. They start wanting to know what you are doing. If they want to, I feel like, I'm not saying, I don't remember what the article said, but I feel like this is my opinion, by the way, I feel like they start stalking you at some point in their life because they want to kind of like prove themselves that they did matter in your life. Kind of like, what is she doing? Is she posting about me? Is that quote for me? Kind of like if the shoe fits, you're like, oh my gosh, she's so sad because of me. But in reality, she's talking about something, some movie she saw, and she's like, that's my favorite caption. I don't know. And you just want to prove yourself that you matter to this person or you matter to someone, because I mean, imagine being in their shoes. You don't want to know that you're so easily replaced, or you're so easily just like, I don't want to have you in my life no more. You want somebody to see your value, basically, and it's because that means that you are important to someone. But then you realize, I guess I was not this important to you because it was so easy for you to just literally cut me off out of nowhere. Like, kind of like a breakup, kind of like if you're like, all this love and all these things I have done for you, did it not matter to you? Like, you ended up cheating on me after all of this, like kind of like that feeling. And again, it comes with another consequence of you start over analyzing everything. You start damaging your self-esteem because you are like, probably como que, is it my personality? Is it my body? Am I ugly for you? Am I like, I'm not even saying like friendships now. It's kind of like when you ghost like that ex, I don't know, and it's kind of like, I guess I'm too ugly for you, or maybe nunca te gustaron mis lonjas, maybe nunca te gustaron mis nalgas caídas, kind of deal. And I'm just kidding, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm saying about me, like, I have lonjas and I have nalgas caídas. Also, if you guys see me, if you guys are watching this on my YouTube channel and not on the Spotify account, which, by the way, we are on Spotify now. I found a way how to actually post it on Spotify. I literally just watched a YouTube video. I was kind of like procrastinating. Procrastinating has been a really big problem for me, so I'm gonna talk about that too, but let's talk about the ghosting. So those are the only reasons I found that, or the consequences that I have found from ghosting, whether you ghost someone or you are the person being ghosted. And the pros are kind of like a reason behind why people ghost, but at the same time, I wanted to put it as like kind of like a different section because I feel like it's more like the good reason, you know? Like, I didn't want to put it as the reason behind it because I feel like the mainly reason is being like immature and all that stuff. Pero I don't know, it's complicated. Yo solita me entiendo, simplemente solo quiero decirles que it does fall into the reason category of why people ghost, but I just wanted it to have a different section. So it's just me. It's not anything in particular. It's just me putting things that way. So I want to talk about a little thing that I found on Reddit, a little story or post, I don't know, a little post I found on Reddit, kind of like switching the situation of like not really blaming the person who's ghosting, but actually switching the sides of the story. You know, you should not play the victim every single damn time because that is fucking annoying. I hate it when people play the victim. Como yo no necesito, that's the thing, yo no necesito llorar to let people know that I'm the victim. And the people who cry on every single situation, just know that that doesn't mean they are victims. And that comes with manipulation, toxic stuff. So another episode, I know I'm saying this a bunch of times, but literally it's another episode where it has a lot of details to it. Like, it has a lot of I have a lot of opinions about it, so I don't want to give like the part, like a little part of the idea and not the whole, so that's why I'm saying for another episode. But anyways, let me read this post right here. You are not being ghosted, you are just bad at conversation. Feeling down that you have been ghosted, does it happen more than often? It sounds like a fucking commercial. Does it happen more often than you think you deserve? Perhaps you are just bad at keeping a conversation going. Look back at your recent text message that got no response. Do you ask any questions that required a follow-up? Do you answer a question and ask for the other person to answer the question too? Kind of like, hey, how are you? And then you're like, I'm good. And then that's it. You don't say anything else. You're not like, oh, I'm good. What about you? You're just like, I'm good. And do you comment on what was shared by your ghoster? Like, for example, I send videos to my friend and now I try to react to the videos or send like a little emoji or make like a little comment, because I mean, when I share something, I don't expect no one to reply to me. I just want them to see it. So some people do like that though. They like to get a little feedback if they share a video with you. And if you don't, they are probably just getting annoyed of it, and that's why they're ghosting you. Do you ask a question for each one you answer? If you did, well, fuck them. You dodge a bullet. No worries. If you didn't, quit complaining and step up your conversation game. You're the bullet being dodged. Also, I love the little comment he made or she made at the end, and it's, feel free to find me. I could use the conversation. So basically, it kind of like switches like the side of the story, whether the person being ghosted is not always the victim. They are probably the reason why they're being ghosted. I know this person, and I don't know if they're gonna be watching this. Just know that I'm gonna be talking about like everyone here, friends, family, my boyfriend. So if anyone is watching that is related to me that way, just know, yes, I'm talking about you. If the shoe fits, basically. Si la bota te queda. So, okay, so I had this person in my life where I sent a whole idea of how I wanted things to get done. I was like, yes, I have this idea. We should do this, we should do that, blah, blah, blah. A whole description of it, like paragraphs of describing my idea. You guys know what I got? This person replied with, no. That's it. No. And I understand you don't want to text me this and that, and I think they ended up calling me at the end. I don't know. Pero if I'm sending you a whole message explaining something that I'm being passionate about or something that I want to share with you, do not answer with just one little word and be like yes or no. Like, that's so, and I mean, it gives kind of like, I don't want to be your friend no more vibe, you know? It hurts your feelings. So if you are that type of person who is not giving kind of like a reaction, or you're not putting energy to the relationship, at the end of the day, don't feel like you're the victim, because you are just paying the consequences of your actions. Because this is the thing, if you don't want to put energy towards someone other than yourself, okay, but don't go crying around saying that you're lonely, that nobody gives you time, nobody wants to listen to you, I don't have no friends no more, because at the end of the day, you're paying the consequences of your own actions. Having friendships involves putting your energy to them, involves listening to that person as well. You cannot just take and not give out to people. So behind it, am I still recording? By the way, I think I am. I don't have my glasses. Pero lo que pasa es de que no quise ponerlo behind the reasons, because I feel like it's not really, I didn't want people to be like, oh, that's why I go. It's kind of like an excuse, you know, because I feel like 90% of the time people are just ghosting because of whatever. Also, I don't think I mentioned this, but I feel like hooking up with someone has actually been also one of the reasons. Like, I think it's social media and then hookups, the main reasons why people are ghosting more nowadays. And that's because I feel like hooking up with someone it's now normalized as well. Like back in the day, you were basically like a whore, and you were probably like, I don't know, te aventaban piedras y encontraban que andabas con cualquier hombre. And sadly, they didn't do that with men. They just kind of like, which I'm not saying it's good, I'm saying it's really bad. And which, like I said, it's really sad that men can do the same thing we basically do. And it's like, oh, descaradas, que mueran, mátenlas, échenle piedras, like, you know, kind of deal. Going back to the conversation, avoiding catfish. That's one of the reasons why. Am I recording? I feel like I'm not. Let me check real quick. I am recording. The good reasons why people ghost is because they don't want to catfish. They don't want to fall into being catfish. Maybe they got like a little hint that you're not being honest about yourself. Maybe you are not being realistic of the way you look like, or realistic on the things you do in life, like work, educational stuff, hobbies, and all that stuff. So when people start getting that hint, which is also falls into the category of como se dice, being dishonest, lying to the person, and they just get that feeling that you're not someone they can trust, they are completely going to be scared off and be like, you know what, red flag, peace out. So that's one of the good reasons why people sometimes ghost other people with no reason. I mean, they do have a reason, but no reason towards, hey, I don't have to explain nothing to you, I can just basically cut you off. Another thing is, and this is not something I want to like get into because I think it's a really, really heavy topic for me. And anyways, se me cortó el video. I don't want to talk about it because it's a really heavy topic for me. Not because I have experienced it. I just think it's a heavy topic, and it's my opinion, which it is. It's a heavy topic for a lot of people. Abusive situations. If you are in an abusive relationship with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and it's not only physically but also mentally, it is a good way of running away from the situation. Which, running away, it's not always bad. You don't have to confront no one your whole life, because you don't know. Also recommended that if you are running away from an abusive relationship, it's best to do so when the person is not at home. Wait for them to either fall asleep, that would be too much for me. I feel like if I was in someone's shoes like that, I would have rather wait for them to leave the house, kind of like when they go to work, when they go to store, just pack everything and just have someone pick you up and be like, or even yourself, like just walk away from the house and go walk somewhere and just try to run away from the situation, call the police and be like, hey, I'm trying to run away from this place, can you come by the house? Kind of like, you know, like that's a 911 situation. So that's also one of the pros of ghosting people. It was said in many articles that when they are trying to run away from this situation, it's always best to just ghost your partner completely or the abuser completely. So I didn't really want to mix the whole thing with the conversation of like social media hookups and all that stuff. I wanted it to have its own little section, pero yeah, not getting too much into detail of that kind of stuff because I'm not informed. I don't have no life experience about it to be able to share with you guys, so I just want to kind of like retocar este tema. I know this is going to be kind of like a off track rambling and just, I don't know, I feel like my episodes are really just me talking random things and I don't stay on track. So I'm sorry if anyone gets annoyed by that, but my ADHD just hits out of nowhere. And yeah, so that was it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment, leave a like. Also, go follow us on Spotify. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye!